Hello world. Welcome to the Sip and Talk with Freema. And today our discussion is going to be, is child support payments really enough to support children? And I know, again, we always cover kind of touchy topics or subjects, but that's what we're here for, to speak about the unspoken. So here today on the panel, we have April Jemfe. She is I would just say she's a jack of all trades. We have Antoine Pugh here. He's 37 from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Research and Development Supervisor at Zeus Industrial, graduate of Claflin University with an MBA in Management, and he is a father of a 13-year-old girl. We have Denise here. She's Banking Operations Manager, Alpha Female and Queen, and I'm your host, Freema. So again, child support payments, is it really enough to support children? I know some people say that they might get like $40 a week or $75 a week. Is that really enough? Should light bill and all that other stuff be included? Like, what do y'all think about child support in general? Let's talk about it.
Well, it just depends. For my daughter, it's not, because I have a 13-year-old girl, and just the shoes alone, $75 barely covers one pair of shoes.
Try $220.
But some people, I hate to interrupt, some people might say that's a want though, and not a need.
I don't look at it that way. I look at it if the daddy wearing them, and why can't the child?
Or if me, I like to get my hair and nails done. I like to say, why can't she not have the shoes that she asked for? Because I'm gonna always be at the car.
Exactly.
So why can't she get some $80?
So is it safe to say that the fathers or mothers, because some mothers are on child support, are only required to do the bare minimum?
No.
Antoine, how do you feel?
From my experiences, I say my daughter, like picking up from school, example. I pick up from school every day. I take out to eat, get food after school. So that's anywhere between $7 and $10.
Okay.
You multiply that by 5.
Right.
That could be anywhere, I say the average $50 a week.
Right.
That's just on food after school.
Mm-hmm.
So you got clothes, you got, like I said, shoes.
Extracurricular activities.
Yeah,
Right.
cheerleading. Just the list goes on. So I want to, me personally, I don't think $75 that's nothing.
Yeah, it's not enough. But what if he or she, and I keep saying he because that's common, but what if that person just isn't making that much and you have,
Yeah.
April, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep it real. Yes, I have my children. I have 3 children. All 3 of them have different fathers. Only one of them was on child support. Reason being, and the bad part about it, we were together when I put him on child support. The reason why I put him on child support was, number one, he refused to give me the insurance card when our child got sick. And the medicine they wanted to give him, it was over $100 and something, and I had to pay for it out of pocket. But he had insurance that would have paid for it. Reason being, long story short, he refused to give me the card because he was hiding that he had another child.
Wow.
And didn't want me to see it. However, I took him to court to get him court ordered to where he would have to take insurance and keep insurance on our child because he was sickly.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to be mean or anything, but in other words, okay, you don't want to do what you're supposed to do, then look, I'll make sure he have it,
Right.
However, with the money part, it wasn't about the money part. I told him I'd cash the check and give it back to him. I don't need
It's for insurance purposes.
It's for insurance purposes, since you wanted to be so, I don't know, I guess it wasn't being evil, but I
He
guess
was scared. He had another child.
I don't
They had to do
care.
with her and her child.
Our child was sick and needed the medicine.
I get it.
Put your
Yeah,
feelings aside.
Put your feelings to the side and do what you got to do. Even if you didn't want me to find out, I went up there and handled everything and got the medicine. I wouldn't have never known.
I guess
Men
it's
don't
a-
think like we do.
Yeah.
So I guess
Some
like
men. Let me take it back. Some men.
some women, I guess, and again, women or men, put people on child support for different reasons. So I guess in your situation, he needed insurance, he needed to get taken care of,
Yeah,
so
and
that's
I
the
wanted to
only
make
reason
sure
why.
my child was going to be good with the insurance side because my insurance wasn't as good as his. But even though we were together, I mean, you still, and they were shocked. Y'all still together? Yeah, we're still together.
You did what you had to do.
Yeah, we did what we had to do. But on the other hand, with the other 2, the first one, my ex-husband, I mean, it was like, sometimes it's best you leave good enough alone, and sometimes you just don't want those people in your business, you know, or you want them to go elsewhere, and you don't want that drama in your life. So she's there, you know she's there. If you want to take care of her, you take care of her. If you don't, go on about your business. And that's basically how it was. Now the last one, I have no problem. He take care of his child tremendously. And even back to your question, because I got off, if they don't make the money, me is more important to spend more time with the child.
Right.
Even if they can't provide financially, at least you're there.
Right, that's how I feel.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, everybody's situation is a little bit different. However, mine was, my daughter's 13, I only have one. And so I put her father on child support when she was maybe like a year and a half. And that was only because he was a truck driver. And so he would have to, only thing he had to do was pay daycare, and that was $75 a week. So I had to call him why do I have to call you every Friday? We had this agreement when Tiana was born. Why do I have to call you? Then when I call you, you get an attitude talking about I'm stressing you out about money. No, that's not the point. The point is we had an agreement that you pay child support, you pay $75 a week, which is only cover the daycare. I asked for nothing else. So it got to the point to where, because I'm real short patient, so I was like, you know what, I done did this too long, too many times. You know what, I'm just gonna take you to court, put you on child support. I didn't do it because he was giving me the money and I was just wondering, you know. I did it because I shouldn't have to run behind you to have you take care of your child. We made this child together. We had an agreement that you would pay $75 a week. That's all. I wasn't one of the ones to call you, nag you, she need diapers, whatever, because I was doing my part as a mother. So, current day, again, my daughter's 13. Every time we would go to court, he's a truck driver. He quit work. So he was only ordered to pay $49.52 a week. I remember it. Like, I went home after court and I cried because I was like so hurt. Like, I had to do all this, and then we go to court, you quit your job.
I don't believe people do that until
No.
yeah.
And like, they thought, when I told my friends about it, they thought I was like
Best
lying.
friend, but I did not believe her.
She
There's
thought they
no
thought I
way
was lying,
somebody's gonna quit
exaggerating.
their job.
And I put him on speakerphone. And it was like, oh my God, like to this day, I'm still waiting on my 45 bands. To today.
No.
Like, he refused to pay. I don't call him, I don't ask him for anything. Whatever he does, which he don't do or whatever, is what it is. That's why I do what I have to do to make sure my daughter is good. That's why I work 2 jobs or whatever. Because I shouldn't have to run behind you to take care of a child that we made.
Right.
So that goes for me, like, as far as like, you won't have no say on whatever I decide to do with her life. If I decide I want to send her to this school or whatever, you can't really, I just feel like you can't really make a cohesive decision with me because you refuse to. And like April said, if you're not going to financially pick her up every weekend or every other weekend.
Yeah, that time.
You don't even do that. You don't even do that. So it's just like, child support to me is just like, I mean, it would help. Of course, it definitely would.
So
but it would just be going to her.
Am I
her to do
wrong
whatever
for
she
saying
wants to do.
like putting someone on child support is like forcing them to do something they don't
It
want to
is.
do?
I
It
agree.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I agree. It
It
is.
is.
You still got the obligation. Like me, I came from a broken home or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My dad never paid any child support, wasn't never there for any games or
Mm-hmm.
none of that stuff, which made me, feel like once I was in that position, I had to
Maybe you
do
want
the
to do
most.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a cycle. Like people,
I agree.
some people were taken care of.
Mhm.
So once they reach that point in life where they got to be a man, they still
Right.
fall back on mom and dad.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And some people use their, speaking of, how we grew up and stuff, and I'm getting all off topic, but again, that's how we do. But why is it that some people use their past as a crutch?
It's an excuse. I call it's an excuse. And coming from anybody, man or woman, it lacks character. It shows how you are as a person because at that point, when you bring a child into this world, everything should change. To
That's
me.
number one.
Exactly. So all these excuses, I got plenty of excuses, but I work 2 jobs. And y'all don't hear about my excuses. Y'all don't hear about me complaining and crying. I get out here and bust my butt and do what I have to do.
Right.
That's just what it is.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And like, I don't call that. He'll tell you. I've never been the baby mom, or I hate that word. I've never been the mother, to be like, oh, well, you need to come get her. Look, if you ain't gonna, I already told you, and if you want her, just call me. Her bag will be packed. Trust me. I don't even get that. So I'm not even gonna force her
Force her,
on you,
yeah.
or that's what it will feel like, and I can't do my
But
daughter
you
that.
force somebody
I
on somebody?
surely did.
I
My
ain't gonna
little
do it.
son
I'm not
was
gonna do it.
acting up. I was tired. I was to my breaking point. So I called him and I told him I need a break, at least for an hour or two. Well, I'm over here watching the game with my boys.
Oh, I think I remember that day.
You remember?
Mhm.
So I said, okay, who house you at? All right. I packed his diaper bag and him some bottles and formula. And I went to his friend's house, knocked on the door, asked, was he there? They was like, yeah. When he came to the door, his child was standing there in front of the door with the diaper bag. I was in the car and I left them in the middle of the street calling me to come back. Surely did. Twice. I did him like that. The last time I left him with both kids at my house, sitting on my front porch waiting for me to come back home. But, I mean,
Okay.
hey,
But people handle things different. Go ahead.
This might be off the subject, but
That's fine.
like you said, you dropped him off. He was saying he's watching his game with his friends. No, a true friend will put you to the side and be like, all right, you can step your game up.
he's a
You're a
man.
dad.
Why you couldn't sit there and watch the game with y'all?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, but like you said, as like a
Yeah,
friend,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then you be like, look, bro, you need to
Yeah.
you need to do what you're supposed to do.
No, his friend pulled me to the side and told me that I don't need to deal with it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that too. Well, yeah.
But
I just
yeah, that's what
can't
you
be, I can't be
said.
around.
Yeah.
But
I
I've
know.
learned just in life experiences, and I could be wrong, but a lot of guys don't have like true friends that I've run across anyway. Or that I know of, and so they probably don't have that person to say, hey, look, you need to tighten up, or they're probably trying to get at the girl. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I found it very strange because he never tried to talk to me. But he did pull me to the side and told me that you don't have to deal with that, you deserve better.
Because I guess he's a stand-up kind of guy.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
But seems as though you would go to your friend and tell him that you would think
You know what? He
some
probably
friends
did.
can't
He
handle
probably did, but
Listen.
it's the friend who didn't listen.
Yeah.
Who was like, whatever,
and some friends can't handle it. Like they might get mad at the person for giving that piece of information.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how some people are.
Yeah, but if you're a true friend, you got to separate yourself. Like, once you
Yeah.
bring it to their attention, you see the same patterns going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just separate yourself.
Yeah.
Let them know.
I agree.
You mean separate yourself from the
From-
person?
from it, yeah.
From the person, because you see what kind of person they are. That's true. That's cool. The young fool.
It's part of your character.
It is part of the character.
It's a character flaw, actually.
Oh, I do want to add, because I don't want to slam nobody's name, but yes, the one that I didn't want to be bothered with, he called and apologized after our daughter was 17 years old when he got left with
17?
his children. Yes.
17 years later?
17 years
Okay.
later, he called and apologized and said he didn't realize how hard it was when he got left with his children.
After
Wait.
17
He
years?
waited 10 years to have children, and he got left to raise his 5 children.
Wow.
And to buy
Clothes, everything.
everything is on
Pay
him.
them school fees.
Everything.
Yeah,
That stuff add up. Oh my God.
Oh,
Dance,
that's what I know.
AAU.
Like, yeah, it does
That's
add
part
up.
of
Dental,
All that.
Oh, I got a question. Do y'all feel that,
haircuts.
yeah, haircuts, all that.
What you mean, hair
Weed?
braids? Like, I just spent $100 yesterday getting some box braids.
Yeah.
I got to do that third.
See?
Yeah, right, exactly. So
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. That's why I applaud the ones that only got one
Oh,
child.
that's all I can afford.
I got 3 of them jokers.
But then child support don't take the part where they sick in the middle of the night. You have to sit up with them.
And
That's
you call out of work.
Exactly.
Your PTO or your sick
Exactly.
time. But I mean, I don't complain about it because
No.
I wanted a child, so I do my part.
Yeah.
As a mother or whatever. So I mean,
Okay,
he
another
just want to
question.
jump on his blessings.
Can we blame the men who we decided to lay down with if we knew they was no good from the beginning?
No, I didn't know
That's
that.
our fault.
I didn't know that.
Well,
I
I'm just
blame
asking.
myself.
I didn't know he wasn't no good.
Sometimes,
Just saying.
I mean,
Like,
my-
some
my
people
case
know
is-
now.
Yeah,
I mean, had I
listen.
known, yeah. But I can't own all that now. Nah.
I own it.
Some
Nobody
women know.
put gun to my
upfront.
head. I should have did my research. I should have took the time out to watch and listen not jumping in head first.
But see, I was young.
Mhm.
Her daughter,
I was young
my
too.
daughter's father is
Yeah.
like 9 years older than me.
Oh wow.
I had my daughter when I was 24.
Mhm.
So how he was old at that time, and to this day he still
The same way.
ain't nothing changed but the year. That's it. But yeah, but I did apply some pressure, and because she was acting out last year,
Mhm.
so y'all was like, you know what?
Oh, you did one of my numbers.
Oh no, but I packed her bag. She thought I was playing. He thought I was playing. Oh yeah, she been out there for almost a whole year. And now he's like, oh, when Tiana coming home? Oh, I'll let you know. No, but I still buy all her girl. It's just like he's just a babysitter. I still get her hair done. I still buy clothes. Any school fees, like it's just like mama's out traveling, and then he's just babysitting. It's just like, but you know, it was kind of like a punishment to her, but it kind of like backfired. But
Yeah.
it's okay or whatever. But
We have a question from the audience.
My question is, what about those mothers that place the father on child support out of haste because their relationship ended and they may have been getting more than the $75, and now that legal actions have been taken, now there's a number placed on it. I mean, like, as the mother, I mean, can you be mad about it at this point? If you're only gonna get that 75?
But you know, I've experienced that from the other side as well. Not being the mother, but the person that I'm dating or I'm currently with having to pay child support. And I know for a fact they do what they were supposed to do by taking their child shopping or buying outfits, you know, spending time with that child, and they still find themselves in court.
yeah, no, that's messed
It's
up.
being hateful. I find it to be disgusting because there are women that actually want their
Yeah.
children, fathers to be involved, but those type of women actually give us a bad name
I agree.
for the ones that
I agree.
actually want a co-parent.
Yes, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, I guess none of us really can answer that question because that's just not in our character. Like you said, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's when you call them ghetto and ratchet and nasty and just, I don't know, don't need to have kids. I don't know. But some women chase men like for that. Like they chase the lawyer, and y'all be surprised. They chase the lawyers, the doctors, or whatever, just to say I'm getting pregnant and put him on child support because that's how they live.
It's already
For
started.
real.
With my 18-year-old
I can't do
son, I have to sit him down and tell him when people think you got something,
Yeah.
and the child
And a
actually
parent.
had the nerve to fix her mouth and said, well, my mama told me if I do get pregnant, to get pregnant by him because I know that child will be taken care of. That's where you're wrong because he got a mama
That's
that
right.
will take you to court for custody before we be
Exactly.
doing
We ain't gonna
anything
play
like
kind of
that.
games.
I'm
They got a
sorry.
mama.
It ain't about to happen.
Right, we're not gonna play those kind of games. Yeah, so you gotta think about the long picture. Like you can't just think about it now.
Hmm? You don't see it? Somebody reported it. Somebody reported
Are you
it.
serious? Oh, it's not that.
Somebody reported
I mean, it's still on here. I think. Can y'all see me?
reported it?
Oh,
what?
Somebody
think we done hit a nerve.
Hmm?
Stop and start it. I mean, I guess start
Hold on,
when
it's
y'all
like-
doing it. Cause mine
What
said
is
that
that?
was
It's still live. It's still live.
Look, I'm all in camera. Yeah, I'm sorry. We got okay.
Yeah, she's still live.
Oh God. It said recorded.
Maybe on another. You shared it? No, my bad. Okay, my bad. We got some questions on this. They probably recorded it on another.
You turn it down and keep going.
Sorry, y'all.
We have some fake news going on. All right, so.
All right, so we have a few things I want to read here. Oh, well, thank you, Kabaso. She's from Africa. Hey, thanks for watching. Okay, so someone said child support is for government and against the parent. Case being, the courts take a fee of the money, so why should we have to pay them to pay our children?
The same reason why we have to beg you to take care of your kids. It's the same thing. Unfortunately, we got to get the middleman in there because as a man, you should be taking care of your child without any assistance needed. So it lacks character on a man. You're not a man. You're not a stand-up guy. Like I can go on and on. So if we got to get somebody else in our business, it was your decision.
And then let me say this because this might
can't believe
start
that
a little
question. I
something
can't
there.
believe that.
Okay.
And that sounds like
As a father, my children would not be in the company of a bunch of adults while watching a sports event.
a boy with his father. A boy with his father.
Okay, well that means,
Oh yeah, because he had the other question about the child support. So
Okay.
it
Somebody-
tells a lot about a person.
Somebody in the audience.
I don't have a question.
You got a comment?
Comment
Yeah.
about what he said. So, would you rather your child learn from you or learn from everybody else?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, that's a
Because
good
as
comment.
a father and a man, you should be setting an example of what this is what I want you to be or whatever. So I
That's
don't
innocent
understand.
though,
I
sitting
mean,
there watching the
Yeah,
game.
you
I mean, as a man, who would not want their son to be sitting with them watching a game?
If it's that serious, that means you're doing something that you
It's
have.
It's not
to
no
do.
business, right?
We got another.
Or you just really don't want to be a parent?
But to his point, when you think about kids' role models,
Mhm.
they have
Yes.
role models like Kobe Bryant,
Exactly.
Obama. They never
Right.
have a role model as far as saying, well, I want to be like
My
My
dad.
dad.
Right.
Yes.
So that's an excellent point.
Excellent, and that's
As parents, you should
example.
always be a role model
To your kids,
Yeah.
exactly. So they can be like, you know what? I remember I used to be with my dad and
Right.
homeboys used to watch the game. Like, like that instills a lot in a young man. So
And this that quality time, because you have men who do pay child support,
yeah,
who does nothing else.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Quietly.
it shouldn't be about monetary. It should be about, because your kid's not going to remember those $220 sneakers.
Right.
They're not going to remember you spent $100 on a trip. They're going to remember that football game that
Yeah,
you
that's
sat
what
in
we
between
did.
with your
The
friends.
small
Exactly,
those
right,
small
exactly,
things.
Exactly. That's
He's right.
It's
Oh.
go ahead.
Oh, from personal experience, the same one made the comment, when our child called and asked him for $20. He said, I pay child support.
Wow.
Or your $79 don't do crap.
Nothing.
Because he's very high maintenance. And why should my child be high maintenance? I like nice things, your daddy like nice things, so you should be able to enjoy nice things, as long as you do what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
However, on the other hand, that same comment that his biological daddy made, his stepdad step in and he do spend time with him and do take him around his boys, and they do have fun together around his stepfather friends, and they talk about all different kind of topics and everything, but he actually feel like part of a little group because they all, will him in and treat him as
People like this, my dad. My
like
dad is
family.
Yeah.
Exactly, my
Yeah,
dad's
dad is
friends, even though that's not his biological dad.
Sometimes that won't even matter.
No, it don't, because they call him his son anyway.
Right.
Exactly.
All right.
And that's sad.
Someone said, I have never had to utilize the child support system, but I don't see anything wrong with the fee being tacked on. It's no different from court costs. Additional employees are needed to handle the child support division. Is it fair that we as citizens have to pay for that because others are making poor decisions?
Well, first off, I work every day, so
Yeah, me too.
it's paying for itself. My
Right. No, I
taxes
guess she's
ain't-
saying as far as like on the
Yeah,
father's end.
yeah.
But the person who made the comment about
Yeah.
other people.
Right.
Okay.
That's when I
Well.
look at it.
And then someone said, why aren't the women telling us what kind of people they are? Because it's always three sides to every story.
There is, but I mean,
It
at
goes
the
both
end of the
ways.
day, I have no problem
But-
expressing what type of
Look,
person I am.
I'm
I'm a
not-
hard worker.
And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I take care of my daughter.
There you
I
go.
work 2 jobs. I bust my
Regardless
ass.
if we don't get
I
along
put
or not.
her in a house. I make sure I had to do what I had to do to put her. I make sure that she's well cared for. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that's the type of person. That's the type of mother and person that I am.
Well, to that person's point, Denise, right?
Yes.
You decided what type of mother you wanted to be, right?
Right.
And like I was just telling my daughter, because she's a new mother, let that man decide what type of father he wanted to be. If he wanted to be a father, he wanted to visit one time a year, you a one time a year father.
Exactly.
If you want to be one that visits every weekend, don't make that choice.
Don't
Because
make
at the end of the day, when that child get older, such as herself
Right.
and her brother, you will see what type of father you have. So
Exactly.
you don't all baby mothers or whatever you want to generalize it
Right.
as. Don't put venom in our children
No.
because they will
No.
grow up to see
They
what
will
type
see
of
it.
person
Yes,
they are.
definitely,
You know,
yes.
and my son's father is 10 years older than I am. He in his 50s, and it took for my son to be in his teens for him to grasp the precious prince that he has. I gotta ask my son, do you call your father? It's all about him picking up calling him for money because that's what
No.
you showed him all his life.
Yes.
When children shouldn't have to wait for parents to decide when they want to be
Be a parent.
parents.
Exactly.
Right.
Because they're a kid every
And
day.
they're a kid every day.
True.
1000%.
Someone said if it's just me and my child at home watching the game, then fine. But over at my friend's house, nah. We want to do grown men things, use profanity and other things that I'm not exposing my child to.
It's a boy.
Okay?
I have a daughter.
think
Look, I'm gonna tell you. I'm not saying
I guess it just depends on what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I cuss around my daughter. So, cause sometimes she asks for it.
Yeah.
But I'm not. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sure a real man is not gonna have his child in an environment that's going to endanger him. But if they looking at the game, they gonna say cuss words because men get hyped up about sports.
They do.
So I mean, it's just like.
But I think they're missing the whole big picture. The
Yeah.
whole big picture is I called him and told him that I was extremely tired.
Needed help.
I needed help.
You didn't have to go into all
If
that.
it was that issue, that much of an issue with taking his child around his friends, you could have been man enough to be like, well, you know what, y'all, I'm gonna have to see y'all later. She's tired. I have to go get my child. You take your tail home and watch your child. You didn't have to stay around your friends. You don't have to take your child around your friends. Point is, I needed some kind of relief, and he didn't want to give it to me, so I had to do what I had to do. It was up to him what kind of company he wanted his child to be around because I needed that help from his father during that time.
Right.
Yeah, I understand, but I would see that more as if it was a girl.
Yeah.
Who her
If
dad.
it was a-
But
yeah.
if it was a boy,
Yeah.
take him around the boys. I mean, that's just what it is. But if a girl, that would be a
And if
little
that's the
different for
case,
me.
then they should have
See
an
what I'm
issue
saying?
with my son's stepfather taking him around his friends now. I mean, and he's been doing that for years. He's 18 now.
Right.
Like-
Someone
like-
said, oh, go ahead, Swan.
Yeah, like me for example, growing up, like my dad wasn't there, which my cousins, my grandfather, no, they stood in place of my dad, so I looked up to them, which all of them was like 10, 15 years older than me. So everywhere they went, I went.
That's right.
I seen a whole bunch, I was exposed to a bunch, but I chose, I learned.
You know right from wrong.
Yes.
You have
And
male
I graduated
rights.
from Claflin University, have an
Exactly.
MBA in management, so it doesn't
Right, and then I
matter.
have a father. Exactly. It's all about that
And I'm
male
quite sure they
presence.
still you on YouTube.
Yeah.
Was that a question?
Oh, I have a comment on that. Well, it sounds like it's better, your family thought it was better that you saw anything that you could have got exposed to with them and they explained it to you versus you
Exactly.
finding it in the
Streets.
streets on your
Streets.
right.
Yeah.
So to me, it
Exactly.
seems like, they help raise you into who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, like so for example, my neighbors, like most of us didn't have. I grew up in a project, so most of us didn't have fathers. So I would see the older kids getting off the bus, going home, getting dressed, walking back down, walking to Hardee's, going to their jobs, making good grades. So they were setting good examples, and I saw that. So
Yeah.
I wanted to take on that same road, which it paid off.
College graduate.
That's good. Yeah. That's real good.
So it does help.
It does help. Somebody said, what about the mothers that don't allow the men to see their children? The
I
bitter-
find
That's bitter.
they-
That's bitterness,
disgusting.
and
That's
that's
hurting
very
the child.
disgusting. And exactly, it doesn't hurt nobody but the child.
Yeah.
And
I
I
don't
would never do
understand
it.
it.
Again, her
And-
bags be packed by the door. You coming to get her? What time? I'll meet you halfway.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I really wish I knew someone that I could just ask, like, why would you?
Like, why would you do that? Like, I wish you
Like one of
I
the
did
audience
that.
members said, a lot of them do it out of hatred, especially when they move
It's out of spite. It's out of
But
spite.
that has happened before too. I mean,
Yeah,
he
it's
hasn't
not
gotten to see his child until she was like 16 years old,
That's
10
crazy.
years because of me. And I mean, like that was
But
unfair.
any man that allows that to happen, then like, what kind of man are you to allow another woman to say that you can't see your child?
Well, we
Not you per se. You know what I'm saying? She's not you.
no, but I'm just
But you
saying.
you do have those women out here.
Yeah, I mean, it was like horrible. And he would come to me and cry about it, and he would try.
Yeah.
But I mean, he would have to go through the aunt
It's too much.
to find out what's going on with his child. Have to sneak behind the mother's back for the aunt.
And
to come.
that's not.
Yeah,
that's
it
not-
was
that's
too
not-
much,
That's,
and it really does happen.
that's a toxic mother.
That's
a toxic
crazy.
person. Like I said, I wouldn't do it.
But yet you still looking for that child support check. You know who you are.
Oh my God.
Oh, you want me to answer
Yeah,
that?
we're gonna ask another question. Unless somebody else got something to say about child support or anything.
Child
No?
support.
What does it say?
Our people are slack when it comes to getting life insurance.
Oh. Somebody said something before we get on that topic. There will be plenty of things that our children will be exposed to without our knowledge.
Exactly. That is true. That is true. However, we can nip it in the bud and start it right here at home on the
We could
on the
correct
home
it.
front.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Because I know my children are very open with me, and they come to me sometimes. Some of the things they ask me, it makes my stomach hurt, and
That's
I'm
the
really
best
sick.
It's not even that. It's just
But-
that I know just into middle school and the things that they're currently doing in middle school.
Yes.
I was taken
I don't
aback.
even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
say
not
this, and I don't know if anybody else pays attention to this, but like the elders for our era, right?
Mhm.
They'll be like,
Mind
you know,
your
when
business.
you got a bunch of company, y'all
Stay in
go
the
around
child's
here.
place.
Right.
But I would rather them would have been there so they'll know further or later on in life how to prepare
Real
themselves
life
for
experiences.
situations.
Real life
Yeah.
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to what you're saying too, which we have people to keep us in check.
Oh.
Which it comes to the the neighborhood mentality, which 9 times out of 10 you might not even know your next door neighbor with your child.
Yeah.
You know, they hanging with their kids.
Yeah.
And nobody's checking them
Right.
when they get out of line, cursing, stealing, all that stuff. We would, people would see us and they come straight at us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
I want to say something on that topic because, and what's the way it is now is okay. I can see Miss Millie's son doing something bad and feel like I reprimand him or say something, but now I got to worry about her coming up in my face, want to fight. You get what I'm saying? So now it's just the way that our generation is.
Yeah.
Like you can't even give a helping hand when you see little Billy stealing out the store or stealing from somebody's house because I'm gonna have to fight the mama. I'm like, that's too much. So now I just mind my business. I ain't saying nothing.
I don't know.
That's sad.
I was me. Y'all know how I am. I'm still gonna let you know. Hey, I saw little Billy. It was Billy, right?
It was
I
Billy.
saw little Billy stealing out the store. I just want to let you know. I mean, if you got an issue with it,
But don't blame my child. You don't know if he did it. You trying to label him.
And that's going to be the child that's somewhere in jail.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
we always, that's that one.
Yeah.
Takes a
Like-
Everybody knows their kids. Like I know my daughter. If somebody come and tell me something, I know she did it. I'm appreciate it.
Yeah.
Tiana already know what it is. She be like, looking at me dumb. She be looking at me dumb. I know you did it. I know you. The teachers call me. I be like, I know you said it. I know you did it. She be looking at me crazy because I know my child. I don't uphold the things that you do, especially when it's something that's wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
I do not.
Yeah.
And she be looking for me to do it. Because if I felt like the teacher said something out of the way to her, I'm gonna handle on both ends.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm gonna talk to the teacher by herself without Tiana because kids like to see that. And I don't want her to be that kid,
Yeah.
like,
My mama told you.
Exactly. No, I don't do that. She know I don't do that or whatever. But I will talk to the teacher individually or whatever. But I let Tiana know you was wrong.
Yeah.
And so go ahead
Of
and
course.
go ahead and
You
do
gotta
that.
keep him in check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These kids something else today.
What was that question, Antoine?
Why are people slack when it comes to getting life insurance?
They don't take it serious because we got GoFundMe now. We got all kind of.
Yeah, and it probably wasn't instilled in them that, it wasn't, because that's part of finance. I feel
They
like this is part of
don't.
finance.
They don't see the
From the
need of
whole-
it until it happens.
Exactly, and
Unfortunately.
then you
Yeah,
gotta
and
do a
it's-
GoFundMe.
But it's just something that's falling off because if you look at it, our parents and grandparents got their own slots already purchased.
Right.
I mean, they already prepared
Yeah.
for this kind of thing versus now, I mean, they don't have nothing.
Well, I don't know because that may be true. I mean, I'm sure it is true for some. Because I was raised by my grandmother. I have different values. Things that instilled in me. Like I have insurance,
Right.
not just the company issue insurance, whatever. So like I try to instill these things in Tiana, whatever, whether she's listening or not. But I don't want if I have some assets, when I pass away or whatever, I don't want her to have to sell everything and she'll have nothing. And
Right.
She's 16.
Yeah.
And she'll have my mama that leave me nothing to show for it. You see what I'm saying? So that's just why. I mean,
Like you said, it goes back to finance.
it does.
Yeah, which other races life insurance would set them
Right.
way
Say
ahead.
them way ahead.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, so you got inheritance, like
Yeah.
A lot of
Fireworks,
people
like,
like, why
I'm
should I take
yeah.
out that large amount?
Exactly.
I'm getting rich
And
off of
but you have to
myself.
understand, life insurance is really not even that expensive.
No.
So think about going to the
Just
club
have
every
for
one
me.
weekend.
That
just
drink,
typical person, that's
that-
you spending
Yeah.
$75. That's your insurance, your life insurance policy plus some.
Yeah. You have a
see what I'm
question
saying?
for
So,
this?
I mean,
Well,
what's the thing?
It's kind of a comment and a question, but what if, they don't have a lot of knowledge,
Yeah. I was saying the same
on,
thing.
you know, the importance of life insurance, you know, like,
You know you're gonna die.
you do know you're gonna die, but it goes back to like we were saying earlier, like, growing up, there were adults, and they were talking, and
Yeah.
you were staying in the child's place.
Yeah.
So that maybe that was a conversation that maybe they should have talked to their children about, so they can be prepared for their adulthood and things to do. So they may not, you know, just have the knowledge of it. And
Yeah,
some people
that's
may
true.
not even have the resources to
Yeah.
say, even if it may be 5 or 10 a month, or
Yeah.
15, 20, 30, whatever.
That's true.
They may not have the knowledge and they may not have the resources.
I'm
for that.
telling my age when I say this. If you don't have a little insurance man to go door to door.
Right.
Right. Days,
Right.
you can
Yeah.
ask questions.
Right.
So we don't have that kind of stuff no
They don't
more.
have
Well,
to-
I
Don't
can-
mind.
I can attest to this, like, every time I go pay my, like, if I do go to the insurance office, like, we go pay my car insurance, they always put me to the side, Mr. Pugh, you ready to start this life insurance policy? Such and such, such and such, which I already got one, so every time I always tell them no, but they do, like, Allstate, I got Allstate, so they,
So I wanna say, oh, go ahead.
And I also just
yeah,
think that,
which I got,
I
my home.
would say African American, you just think that you have time.
Yes,
Say that again.
yes.
Like, young African American, they feel like they have time to be able to get life insurance. Like, I don't have to worry about that now. I'm in my twenties. You know, I don't have to worry about that now. You know, death don't wait for no one. You know.
Right, that's true. Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
People drop any and everybody.
Right,
Like,
dropping like flies.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed a promise to anyone. So,
Also, I want to say, okay, and a lot of people may not know this, but you know, you have to have a, what is it called? Interest or something with the life insurance. I can't even think of the word. Shareable interest or something interest.
Alright.
No,
No, I'm saying the terminology as far as why you get this
term
amount
and
on someone. You get what I'm saying? Like if that's my husband, I can say yes, I can get $100,000 on him. Or,
Assurability.
yeah.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you have children with this person.
Right.
Hello?
Right. I should have to
Get
tell you
life
why.
insurance, you
Yeah.
know, come on.
Right.
We don't think about that, or you just a baby daddy. No, girl, you better go ahead and put that $100,000 policy on him. So I'm happy to him, and guess what? Okay.
And I think like Angela said, it's just about
Knowledge.
knowledge, you know, because
Yeah.
it
Well,
took me
hopefully I just
a
told
while,
somebody something
and
they
I'm
didn't know that.
grown to figure out what was the difference between which was beneficial to me, a whole life or,
Or
a
a
term.
term,
right.
You know, because you spend, I mean, like you said earlier, as far as this insurance salesman's coming to the door. I mean, my grandfather, cotton picker, he was old, and you know, these people just came to your door. You know, you get this amount, you pay this amount. When he passed away, all those life insurance policies, I mean, he had like maybe several. I mean, he paid these things faithfully.
Oh,
That if he
yeah.
didn't pay nothing else, he paid his life insurance.
Right.
They valued nothing.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, the type
The
of
type
they
of
valued
term.
nothing.
Yeah.
So it
Wow.
just getting with someone to just pretty much sit down and
School out
educate you
Yeah.
on what type of life insurance you should sign
And
up
then another rebuttal to that, the world's so crazy now, some stranger knocking on my door, I'm not letting them in.
Oh,
That's true too.
You know, it's just like,
Right.
it's always something. But he's taking it back. He said, as active father, I give my children the opportunity to learn on their own, and then I'll explain the consequences behind their actions. My son was 17 when I realized he was smoking weed, which I never exposed him to. So then I gave him the do's and don'ts of smoking. Like if he catches a drug charge and how it affects his chances of college, like if he lands a prominent job that requires a hair sample. Exactly.
And I could definitely
That's
Yes,
different.
yeah.
I just realized recently mine's 19, college son. I mean, let his sister play that's that's what they do in college, not
Yeah.
necessarily. But I mean, I didn't expose him to weed. I'm not saying that I never had. That just wasn't for me.
Right,
You know, and I was just so surprised, more so disappointed. I mean, because he came in the house one evening, he was like I was like, we was having a conversation. I was like, you high? And he didn't deny, because like I said, we have a conversation.
Right.
We talk, we very open, and I always wanted that type of relationship with my children because I didn't have that with my mother.
Right.
That's why I was a young parent. So I'm like, you high? Like, we were talking about something else, and I just
You could
threw
tell.
a monkey wrench in it. And I'm like, you high? And he didn't deny it. And I just was like, I was disappointed. Like, I was just like, it just did something
Really?
to me because I didn't expect that from him. You know, I'm not saying he's better than anyone. I just didn't expect that from him. But, you know, every chance I get, I always bring it up.
So you just can't let bygones be bygones.
I'm constantly reminding him of this. I mean, to the point, like I want him to feel like so bad about doing it. Like every conversation is because you're
Trust
looking at me.
Trust me, you don't feel bad about it at all.
You probably do. You remind him to the time that I had that thing rolling.
Right,
Exactly.
And trust me, he probably came that high, and guess what? What you said went over his head.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah. So we got another
Yeah.
question? All right, so let's see.
That's funny.
Let's see. Get life insurance, so people.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Life
And-
insurance.
Look into whole.
Oh,
Yeah, whole life
life.
insurance.
Don't do
Yeah.
not get term.
It builds cash value.
And you can borrow.
Yeah,
if
you can
need
borrow
it.
if you ever ran into something.
See?
Yeah.
Wow, this goes back to one of our first questions. Our first topic. How do you explain to a small child why the other parent is absent? I can answer that. I let her see for herself. Oh, well,
Yeah.
I did, and I wasn't a parent to bash or whatever. Granted, I did call him Dusty Face. And I think that was, but I tell him that to his face, you know, whatever. But I was never that parent that bashed
The other
parent because I was that child. I was the child that my mother, who wasn't on any drugs or alcohol, wasn't, but she was the parent that talked out. But my father was the one that was on drugs. But she never spoke bad about him ever. But my mother was the bad person. You see what I'm saying? So when I grew up, I said, you know what? I would never do that to my
Right.
child. So and my daughter, when she got up in age, she used to get so mad at me. She was like, I used to be like, Tiana, did you call your dad? Did you text him or whatever? She'd be like, why do you keep asking me this? She was like, no, I don't want to talk to him. You know, I got to the point that I was like, you know what?
You just
I'm just
let it
gonna,
go.
you know what? It is what it is. But I mean, I had to let her see it for herself.
Yeah,
But she did.
okay.
Well, it's not a question.
Oh.
My twins, they're 8, and one asked me why his dad is not around.
Mm-hmm.
The best way I explained to him was that sometimes men take longer to mature.
Mhm.
Your dad is not mature yet. Once he grow up, then he may come around. But it's gonna be your choice if you want him around or not. I'm not
Right.
making that decision for you.
Exactly.
I like that.
It's true.
That's the truth. You can't make that decision. But I mean, like, is it fair? You know, I'm a reality junkie. So, example, her dad wasn't in her life, so now she's like a star. You know, she's upcoming, and all of a sudden he wants to come, you know, to her show, you know, and stuff. And the mama, whew, she was hot. I took care of you. You know, I made sure you were straight all these years. No, he can't come. Which the girl still let him come, but as a parent, like, how would that make you feel?
I mean,
knowing that you took care of this child?
Yeah, I mean, but the mother, she has a right to feel that way. However, it's the child's decision to decide whether or not I want my father to
I
know. I mean, I would be 38 high. I would be like mama too.
I don't think so. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't feel no type of way. I want you to come on and
See what I did.
What I did.
Yes.
And two, gave a little bit about my son and his father, and he came to a basketball game some years ago, and that.
I got tissue, honey.
Oh.
I knew this was gonna happen one day.
That's like the best feeling in the world for that man to tell you you did an excellent job.
Yes.
I mean, like I wasn't bitter. It was
Right.
it was what it was.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I love my first daughter, but I said with my son, I wasn't gonna make it hard for me. Like you
Yeah.
said, every weekend his stuff was packed.
Yeah,
You
ready.
going over there in the weekend. Your mama, his mother, his auntie wanted to watch him. You going because I'm not
Yeah.
gonna make this hard for you.
Exactly.
Right.
And I just, it wasn't pride. I'm a believer. You don't have to be with somebody and you have a child. Things just don't work out.
Right.
We're putting our separate ways. But whenever you come around, you come around. But that was like the best feeling in the world for that man to tell me that I did an excellent job
Yes.
with
Yeah.
our child.
Yeah.
See, that makes you look at it different. You get what I'm saying? And that's why we have discussions so you can see it from someone else's perspective. So yeah, that's
And
a good thing.
I really want to piggyback off what she just said about him. My daughter, her aunt, his sister. Matter of fact, they have the same birthday, January the 18th. So they kind of want or whatever. But anything, and I don't really call nobody, ask anybody for anything. But if I call her right now and say Tiana needs this, she gonna say I'm gonna put it in the mail. I'm gonna send it to you. I called her one day. Matter of fact, before I sent her to Tiana to stay with her dad, she was acting out or whatever. I was so frustrated because Tiana was not getting to the age to where she was acting out, and I didn't know how to deal with that because up until like 5th grade, I didn't have any issues out of Tiana. Like Tiana was like a perfect little kid or whatever. Besides sassiness, but acting out in school. So I called her aunt, which is her dad's sister. She lives in Atlanta. So I called her on like a Tuesday night and I texted her and told her what was going on or whatever. She texted me back. She said, well, I'm going to see what my husband's going to do or whatever, and then I'll call you back. She called me back Thursday and said, I'm going to be down there Saturday morning. I'm going to pick Tiana up. Mind you, she came from Atlanta just to spend time with Tiana. She was like, you know what, I'm going to come down and see what's going on with her.
Yeah.
She came down from Atlanta that morning, picked Tiana up, talked whatever they talked. I didn't even ask them what they talked about. They had a conversation, took Tiana shopping, and sent her back home with money. Her aunt, who has her own kids that are in college. So, like, I can't, like, her aunt, so, like, that's why I love her to death, because I don't have to ask her for anything. Because, I mean, even though he doesn't do anything, even the mother, Tiana is the only granddaughter that's here in South Carolina. And it's still nothing there, but the aunt lives all the way in Atlanta. And she'll bend over backwards for Tiana. So, I mean, that's just, that spoke volumes to me, because, and I told her I appreciate her and her husband for any little thing that he did. And I don't ask them for nothing. If they decide one Christmas, it's okay. That's fine. Like, she get Tiana for the summer, like 2 or 3 weeks out the summer. Like, like what aunt would, go out of their way to do that, all the way in Atlanta.
Hey, for me.
But I would that live, they're older.
Right.
But I try to do things for them, like holidays and stuff, whatever. But like, you don't find a lot of extended family nowadays that do those types of things for the, for the kids, for the absent parent, in place of the absent parents. So I appreciate any little thing, like even if it's just a happy birthday phone call, because her grandmother who lives right around the corner from her doesn't give her that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
You wanted to say something for that?
Oh, it was just going back to the part to where how would you tell your child why y'all not together, whatever. Just like you explained to yours, I told mine. He's not there yet. He's still, have to find him. But once he finds himself, then Unfortunately, he never found himself till she got grown. No. The thing was, after he apologized, she ended up going to school in Atlanta, and they formed this beautiful relationship with each other. And he flipped. He flipped big time. And she called me, and she was like, "Mama, why you ain't tell me my daddy was like this?" Because that wasn't for me to tell you, baby. That was something you had to find out on your own.
Right, because she would say, well, you poisoned my baby, and things like
yes,
that.
But unfortunately, sad to say, they do not talk like they need to talk now. But he do his daddy duties, even though our daughter is grown now. He will call me and ask me if she need anything, but he don't want her to know that he's doing it for her.
Now she know.
They don't get, sound backwards, but now she know. But I'm sorry. But they actually do not get along at all. But he's trying to be there for her now.
Right. All right. Our time almost up. But someone said, as a man who was raised by a solid Nubian woman who never exposed her children to any other man than our part-time dad, she's stressed, but we never knew it. It was night she didn't eat, but we did, and I never seen nor heard her speak about my part-time dad. So I don't respect child support, and I don't believe in the stepdad term. Okay. And he also said there's a difference between child support and supporting your child. There is no pleasing women.
What was that?
He sounds good. I think
he sounds a little confused. Like,
no, I don't think he's saying like there's no pleasing women. I don't know.
Well, I got this one.
It's not about pleasing women. It's about
no, because I made the comment about my son dad to the term to not confuse you of the biological dad
and
the bonus parent, stepfather, whatever you want to call him. However, my children and my daughter can tell you this: no man has ever lived with me after I divorced my ex-husband. Okay, my children did not go around anyone else until I was sure Yeah. Once we're together in holy matrimony or whatever else, we will then live in that house and my children will be there. But as long as I had a female in there, she could say she'll be 25 this year. She has never lived in a house with a man.
Yeah.
Besides her father. Okay? Far as my relationship wise, I kept that out my children's business. That's my business, not for my children. Yes, I do expose them to his stepdaddy, bonus parent, his father, not his biological father, or daddy, or whatever you want to call him, because that's the person that came in and took on the role that his dad could not do at that time.
Right. Preach.
Somebody from the audience want to say something.
I
And
think
it's not about being lonely.
just like what I took from what he was saying was his mom toughed it out. Like she
Right.
toughed it out. She did whatever she had
to
to
do.
to make sure that her kids had, and that was her decision. If she wanted to have a stepdad or what a male figure in her house, or expose her kids, so that maybe that's just what she chose to do.
Exactly.
But however, I do feel that support for children or child support, however you want to word it, it could be a good thing, and it is needed. Not per se it has to be legal wise, but two parents can sit down and come to common terms,
Right.
and it's still
Exactly.
support for the child.
Right.
So it's not about it itself; it's about how you handle the
As
situation.
adults, yes.
And the maturity of the parent.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
I got one.
Yes.
For the for the good fathers, doing their job, On the other hand, this social thing is this is my mom and my father versus
Right.
yeah. What y'all think about that?
I hate it. No, I'm not a father. I'm not a man. I cannot teach you what a man's supposed to teach you. I'm a mother.
Exactly.
I can mother you. I can tell you what from a woman's perspective. Don't text me happy Father's Day. I'm a mother. So I hate that. I hate when people say I'm a mother and a father. This is me. I'm not a father. I'm not a man. I only can teach you the motherly way. And that's all I want. Don't text me happy Father's Day.
We had our first little argument about the children because he tells me that I spoil them. However, like I tell him, the only thing that I know how to do is shop, look pretty, wash clothes, cook,
And
and
be a
work,
mother.
clean house, be a mother, listen, things of that nature.
Exactly.
Now, as far as what y'all
Nurture.
males do, I have no
Right.
clue.
We can't-
However, by me being the mother of boys, I can teach them how to treat a woman,
Exactly.
how to open up doors for me, how to be able to take care of themselves if needed, where they wouldn't have to depend on a woman, and how to go make that money. However, like I said, as far as the male, I don't know. But that goes back to the watcher. If it wasn't for that plus dad, bonus dad, stepdad, whoever, he wouldn't know anything about being a man because he stepped in when his biological father wasn't
Step
there.
down, right? Step down, yeah.
So, there you go.
And like April said, yeah, I can teach you how a man should treat you, what you expect from a man.
Yeah.
I can teach you those things, but I can't show you.
I don't know what y'all
I
go
can't
through.
tell you, this is what a father is supposed to do.
Right.
I can tell you, well, I can tell you that, but I can't really physically show you because I'm not a man.
But
I
I'm
can
gonna
tell you what to
one
expect
thing
from a man.
that really got next to me was when I got in the car with my son and he put his wallet in the dashboard.
What?
Yeah, and I'm like, why is your wallet in the dashboard? Boy, get that wallet, because if the police stop me, I won't have to reach for it. It's already up there. And he said, well, you always told me when I already got 2 strikes against me, I'm a male, and I'm black. He cried. It hurt me, but I have no clue what males go through. I hear stories and everything, but y'all know hands on. I can't show him that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's tough.
yeah.
All right. And let me just say this. I know our time is up.
We can go all
Nobody-
day about this.
Nobody can never take on the role of a biological parent, point blank, period. I'm married and I explain to my children that my wife is just my wife and not their stepmom. They have a mom already.
No, wait a minute.
Somebody from the
I
audience
think,
wanna
wait,
say
wait,
something?
I think we may have worded that incorrectly because a wife is just not a wife. A wife, if you're gonna marry somebody, husband or wife, that's gonna be somebody who can look at to be a bonus parent to your child. I'm not gonna marry you if I don't feel like you can be a father, role model for my child.
At the end of the
So I'm
end of the
hoping
day-
that he worded it incorrectly.
Well, I don't care how you word it, because at the end of the day, what works for your family, kudos
That's
to you,
true.
but this
Yeah.
works for my family. And on top of that, my child will call his bonus daddy, stepdaddy before
If he
he calls
chooses
his
to.
biological daddy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all about how he feel loved,
And
and
how
who
he been
treated
treated.
him the best.
Yeah.
And not one thing I have been raised to know. Sometimes the person that treats you the best and show you the most care and give you the knowledge ain't necessarily got to be no family member.
That's true.
That's all.
That's
That's all.
everything. So whatever world you in with that Nubian queen and stuff, I don't know what kind of teacher she taught you, but kudos to you. Kudos to you. Everybody have their own opinion and everything. Everybody's household is different,
Yeah,
but that's what works for me.
Yeah, I ain't gonna marry anybody if you're not a father figure.
And on that note, people,
What you got?
you got a question? Go
Yeah.
ahead, honey.
What about those that marry and don't introduce their child to the person beforehand?
Oh, I got a
First of
problem
all,
with that.
we're not even gonna get married if I have not met your kids.
I got an
because
issue with that.
I'm a
Children are
woman
first.
and I have a child as well. So if I bring
And
you
kids
around
can
my
get
child
vibes off people.
and I can't come around your child, or you feel like I can't bring my child around you because the mother, it could be.
So let me make sure I'm understanding. You
I'm
saying
experiencing
I
that.
got married and
Oh,
then
before.
I introduce you to the children?
No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. I need to meet the kids before. Because you may have some baby kids and I
Well,
ain't.
how old are these
I'm just
children?
joking.
But yeah, that plays
Oh,
a
that's
factor.
different.
It's
That plays a
they're
factor.
a certain age because of 25. If you have
That's
grown
different.
kids,
Now, if
at
your
this
kid
point-
is a minor and under,
right, minor under.
period.
But as we know, when kids grow up, you have some kids who don't even keep in contact with their parents.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's
Yeah, that's different.
I mean,
That's different.
At some point, us parents have to be able to live our lives. You know, and not saying that that is a right situation, but it depends on what the age of the children.
Oh, she said.
So, 7. Oh no, she should have
Oh,
married
yeah.
within the
No.
first 6 months if they felt that was
No.
a serious relationship.
No.
To me.
I only
Yeah.
feel like 6 months now. To me,
No, I'm
that's
saying if
kind
they decide, okay, like we just gonna go. I mean, because I don't know nowadays,
how
I would think that you would know
towards
if you're
people
gonna be
because they
living
do
life.
have an
I don't
honest,
know. I
an
just
honest
Okay,
vibe.
yeah.
They can read
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
They feel
exactly.
people.
Yeah, they vibe.
I feel like this is a certain age because once we get older, and if we
I'm
some
25,
parents,
I don't really
some
care.
parents, their mothers stay single until their kids are grown and out the house.
Yeah.
You know, you have some
Yes.
some mothers that will do that, have done that.
Well, I
Right.
portray the image
So,
of being
at
single.
a certain age, you know, at a certain point, you got to be able to do what's happy for you. If you got to find somebody who you won't be able to grow old with.
Right.
Your kids is going to grow up and move on with someone else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And live their lives.
That's true. That's true. But nah, before I get married, I gotta make sure my kids, you know, feel the same way about this person. They
Exactly.
see being
Kids,
around this
like you
person
said, kids can pick up
every
on
day.
vibes.
Yeah, I can't.
Especially raising a daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That's all she should be is a role model and not a mother.
I wasn't gonna read it so we can finish.
That's all she be is a role model and not a mother. I'm
That's
gonna,
all she
if
is,
I have
a
a,
role model.
I have a husband and he has a child, when that child comes into our house, I'm gonna mother that child after the child is mine. I'm not gonna treat you just like a stepkid.
Right.
Because that's like, that sounds so negative to me.
Yeah, I treat
stepkid.
mine.
You see what I'm saying?
I treat mine.
But to each his own.
We're a Brady bunch.
To
He
each his
has
own.
children too. I
Right.
had children before I met him, and we have a child together. So when they all come around, they all get the same.
That
treatment.
means if-
I don't expect them
if
to
you
call
get a
me
butt
mama
button,
because they have a
you gonna get a
mama.
butt button.
But however, if they
Oh,
I
need
might
that's
let your dad do it. I might let your dad do
But
it, but yeah.
that brings up another topic. What Denise said.
what she said.
If mine get a butt cut, you get a butt cut.
It
I
might not
don't
be,
know,
it may not
everybody
be me
don't-
doing it, but you gonna.
But that was how it was back
You
in
gonna
the
gossip,
day.
right?
I agree with
Okay.
that. I really do. Because if you
One, like,
if
I'm not gonna be,
down,
I'll
too.
treat your child and you over here, you
Right.
don't, you was the culprit. And then you over here sitting on with your leg crossed. Nah, it ain't going on like that. Nah. I mean,
Well, I guess if you can have it, you know, to where they're around your children, then I guess you, you know, they can discipline your child. They could.
I mean, that was a touchy subject.
Yeah.
I never disciplined his children or whatever. I would go to him if I have an issue or whatever, and that's something I would let him handle.
you make my blood pressure.
Yeah, however,
If you don't-
it's been plenty of times that they would get into it because she didn't like the fact that he disciplined her because of
She did something,
something.
because
Yeah.
But she did something wrong.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
that
she
goes
didn't
back
like-
on the
So
mother.
therefore, you don't want
No.
him to discipline his child, period.
No, it don't work like that, sis.
I think that's good.
Okay. Well, that kind of ends our segment today. It was a little rough, and I would like to like that. No, and I said it too. everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you want to be a part of the panel, please come. And I feel great to know that it reached Africa. Thanks for letting me know that. That feels real good. So, again, thanks to my sponsors. Thanks to everybody that's, helping me in this journey of mine that will succeed, because I am going to speak it into existence. And I do have a small area for audience, so if you want to come just sit in, let me know, hit the inbox. Love all of you. Peace.
Peace and love.